For this drawing I'm using toned paper from Strathmore. It's toned gray, and I have my grid in place to keep my proportions straight, and I start etching in the shape of our classic car headlight and chrome grille. And the interesting thing about using toned paper is that the tone of the paper does a job for you in the drawing. It assumes that middle tone, and so what you do is you anchor in the dark shaded values and then the highlights, and you let the tone of the paper do the work of the middle tones. And so after I've got a brief sketch in and I outlined it with a pen, go ahead and erase our grid and all pencil marks. And we start with a pen, just using hatch marks to put in some subtle light layers to anchor in where some of the shaded values are. After we've got our first layer in, you can go in with a second layer. I had used cross hatching, and to blend it as much as I felt was needed, I would use a tissue or my finger. And you work kind of just throughout the whole drawing. I bounce around a lot, but what you want to do is make sure that you're not putting any pen marks where you want your highlights to be. And for the darkest values, I'm going to use a Zebra Z-Flight grip pen. The ink is a little bit darker than the Bic pen, even the 1.6 millimeter, I feel. And so I feel like the trick to getting a real nice chrome look and the highlights really to pop is you need to have the real shaded values almost right next to them, as close as you can find it in the drawing. So I was real careful about that, and I'm pretty happy with the drawing altogether. The grill was quite an undertaking and painstaking process of just being careful where the highlights are, where the contour of the chrome is, and then trying to get the chrome to look a little bit rounded. And of course it's reflecting the world around it, so the highlights that you see, you want to capture those the best you can. And after I've got a few layers in, here's what I'm looking at so far. I went through and I darkened in the dark part of the headlight inside the bowl of the headlight, and there are a lot of different lines there from the glass where it was cut and how it reflects. And take your time with that, so that way you've got a real nice looking headlight. And we're just about to put in some white, so we're gonna make sure we're happy with all of our tones all the way around, boosting the shadows, creating a little more depth to the shade. And I of course went through with the 1.6 millimeter and put as much thick black ink in as I could. And then once you've got something you're happy with, and I've gone around left and right of the highlights, I take out a white gel pen, and you can see there on the headlight, you really strategically have to put that highlight values where it is in the photo, so that it, initially someone looks at it, they'll recognize what it is. And at first it may not look too great to you, so don't panic. Give your drawing some time, take a break, come back and look at it later, which is what I usually always do. And you can see there's a climax part of the chrome that's the highest highlight. And here's our final drawing.